that injury that was early, week 5. Zeke, though, we're seeing here, he had career lows in rushing yards, in yards per carry. Listen to this. Prescott said recently that Zeke looks ready and primed for a big 2021.
Zeke looks great. I mean, Zeke's in the best shape of his life, looking fast. Obviously, everybody's seen the clips of him working out independently with his running back coach, and his cuts, just how explosive he is. Excited just to have a full year with him again and getting him healthy throughout the whole season. Once again, when Zeke's healthy and Zeke's doing his thing, he's the best running back in the league. So it's just exciting to see him in the best shape of his life, or best shape of he's been in the NFL, and know that it's going to be special for us moving forward.
We know what his ceiling is, right? It's rushing leader. He's got this talent to live up to, and we know what Dak can do when he's healthy. I ask you, Nate, will the Cowboys only go as far as Zeke Elliott will carry them?
As much as I would like to say yes, no, this is about Dak Prescott. We spent all year trying to figure out if they were going to pay Dak Prescott, and what is he worth, and what are you going to do when Dak Prescott comes back from the injury? He's here. He got the big deal. Now everything's good. Now all he has to do is pick up where he left off. What do I mean? Do you guys remember when Dak Prescott was healthy? Do you guys remember what he was doing? Dak Prescott was on pace to break the all-time passing record before breaking his ankle. I'm not talking about a division record. I'm not talking about a Cowboys record. The all-time passing record. He was on pace for 5,939 yards. At the time, weeks 1 through 5, they were third in points per game. They were first in total yards per game and first in pass yards per game. It was unbelievable. Now, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, Nate, come on now. Their defense was terrible. He had to throw the ball. Okay, that's fine. The defense got better. But more importantly, forget about the stats for a second. What did Dak Prescott prove? He can grip it and rip it with the best of them. I mean, for a while, it was like, all right, Dak's pretty strong. He's a stout base. He can leave the pocket. He does a really good job of throwing on the run. He's a physical quarterback. He can get it to his wide receivers. But what he proved weeks 1 through 5 is if he needs to carry the load, you can put it right there on his right arm. So for me, I feel like this team is going to go as far as Dak Prescott's arm will take them. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he does this season.
Yeah, this is no slight to Ezekiel Elliott, who, when he's right, is a very good running back. But this Mike McCarthy offense has never been based on the running back position. And when you've got Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, it's not going to be about as far as the guy in the backfield can take you. If anything, it's Mike McCarthy. Last year, I'll scratch up to a mulligan. He'd been out of football for a year. And there was COVID, and then he lost his starting quarterback, and he was making do with what he could with Andy Dalton and our guy Ben DiNucci. But I think this is going to be the Mike McCarthy year, whether he's up for this challenge or not. Last season, it was a great disappointment. And it wasn't just the losses. It was strange coaching decisions. It was interesting fourth down play calls. It was a fake punt against Washington on Thanksgiving Day when momentum was going completely the other way that just had you leaving, scratching your head. It's going to be about McCarthy this year. Can this man coach a Super Bowl contender without Aaron Rodgers under center? Can this man take a team that has all the talent in the world and maximize it? I know we're going to focus on Ezekiel Elliott throughout the season, and we should. But he is just one of many, many, many different offensive players on a loaded offense. So now you've got McCarthy, you've got Kellen Moore. There's no COVID restrictions as far as building an entire team dynamic over Zoom, which they had to do last year in year 1 with McCarthy. This offense, no excuses, and Ezekiel Elliott's included, but it will not go as far. I don't see a game where Ezekiel Elliott's carrying the rock 40 times for 190 and carrying this team to a victory. He's going to be a key player, but they're not going as far as Zeke takes him. They're going as far as their head coach and their quarterback can drive them.
Well, look, I look at it a little different. Of course, the head coach and the quarterback, yes, Dak's the quarterback. It's the most important thing by far. And he's going to get them to the playoffs maybe, but I just look at it like this. On a Monday, we come in during the season, and Dak Prescott yesterday had 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, wow, that's awesome. It's kind of what we expect. We come in on that Monday, and Zeke ripped off 147 and 2 touchdowns. We're freaking out. That is a big deal. I feel like Zeke at this point is like the third scorer on an NBA team. You don't need him every week. He's not going to go off every week. But in those big games, When that third scorer comes up with 24 points and 12 rebounds, you win. I feel like he is Harden on the Thunder or Kukoc on the Bulls. They need this guy. Can they get to a wild card and Zeke does nothing? Sure. Yeah, of course, they can. Can they get to a title game for the first time in 26 years without their star running back, who, by the way, Peter, he makes money to be carrying about 40 times a game, too. I have all of my worst fears about Ezekiel Elliott that I'm choosing not to acknowledge. I'm worried that his legs are gone, that he's plotting, that his best football is behind him. I'm not embracing that stuff. I'm trying to ignore it. But the facts are compelling. Let's look at the burst runs, the splash plays, the 20-pluses. All right, so 2016, he comes to the league, Ohio State. He leads the league in rushes over 20 yards, 14. Last year, he had 3, down from 4 the year before. Guys, these are not 50-yard runs. They're not 70-yard runs. It's a 20-yard run. You're on your own 10 and you're on your own 30. It's not the biggest play in the world. And last year, he had 3 of them, which was tied for last in the league. It worries me a lot because I do think that the way their pay is structured, the way that their whole company is organized, if Zeke ain't playing, they ain't going to the title game. Dak can carry. I don't care if Dak throws for 700 yards a game. They might win some games. Zeke is your third scorer. You need double-digit points and rebounds out of him, or it's going to be one and done. He's really important.
Well said, Kyle. You've always supported him. We haven't seen that guy. That's the question. Can he be that guy? And I'm always here for a Croatian sensation reference. Nate, what do you think?
Yeah, Kyle, you make a very valid point. The NBA playoffs are right now, and the Suns in a game 4 in Denver playing against the Nuggets. We know what Devin Booker's going to do. I mean, he's an absolute scorer. DeAndre Ayton, their center, you know he's going to get buckets and get rebounds. But last night, when Chris Paul put up 37 points, it's a different game, Kyle, because that's exactly what I was thinking when you were talking. You're like, okay, all right, Chris Paul, he's a great point guard. But if he puts up 30-plus points, it changes the game. If Zeke Elliott rushes for $150, $175, he gets in the end zone a couple of times, or even puts them in scoring position because he keeps his team on the right side of the field because of field position, it does change the game. And Kyle, as much as I do believe it still is Dak Prescott, if Zeke Elliott can recapture any of the magic that he did his beginning of his career, this is a completely different offense, and defenses are going to be in trouble.
Well, I think you're completely right, and I'll close the loop with this, the NBA comparison. I worry that Dak Prescott's going to be in Damian Lillard territory this year, just lighting it up, like incredible shots and highlights and stats. But, like, where is he come the finals? And my last point is this. We've watched a lot of these guys over the last 5 years. Dak is the guy. I get it. Zeke brings the juice. When he's running and he's doing that stuff and the linemen are chasing him downfield and hugging and ripping guys off him, it's a different team than when Dak is throwing another touchdown to Amari Cooper in a game they're going to lose 42-36. He is the juice guy. Different offense when he runs. I think they need to get to where they need to go. They need 21.
And when he's at his best, he helps put everybody in position to succeed there in Dallas. Great to hear that Dak Prescott thinks he's looking great to have a beautiful 2020.